Paul Lafrance here, Stream of Consciousness series. In this video, we will talk about an unexpected gift from COVID. We'll reset the timer. If you'd like to know what I'm doing here, please go back to the initial video to explain why I've been recording for about an hour and a half now straight. Candle's still burning, and I'm getting a little tired, but we're going to plug through here till the end. I'm resetting the timer because I just cheated myself. So, okay. When it comes to COVID, we all are kind of aware. I'm not if you haven't heard about it, well then there are larger issues to discuss. But because of the unprecedented kind of global pandemic, for the people that are alive on the planet right now, all 7.89, have we reached 8 billion yet? I think we're close. This is a very unusual situation. And there's a lot of terrible things that have happened in the midst of it. But I do find in most people's lives that some of the best forward advancements we can make come in the period of crises. And that's a whole other, that's a 10-hour video series that I'll probably do at some point later in life. If there's one thing that COVID has done, it's kind of echoed what I have been saying to people for years, and it's brought this one word to the foreground that I've been using called perspective. So with what I do, particularly in the realm of kind of niching myself into the backyards, once I drop my ego, earlier video you should watch, is I've been creating places of rest for people in a world that's gone crazy. You know, we live in the most technologically advanced society in the history of mankind, where that technology was supposed to buy us time so that we could live, so we could not work so much. And what did we do? Like idiots, we just ended up filling all that extra time we created with the technological advancements with more work. So, back in the day, you could, if you were writing somebody a letter, you'd bring out your quilled pen on parchment and you'd write the letter out and be lovely, and you didn't have whiteout, and you'd send it to them. And you would expect a response back to that letter within a fortnight. And most people now know that they don't know what a fortnight is, other than the game that your kids are playing. But a fortnight was 2 weeks. If there's a case in point about the need to step back and for the world to stop that I've been saying for years, it's the fact that how long, it's echoed with this, like how long do we have now? My new phone, I could throw it into a raging river, run over it with a steamroller, and then go flying in a plane, back when I used to be able to fly. And still, I'm available. I can go. I can't even escape into the shower now. How long do we have now before someone sends us an email and we have to respond? What do we have? 15 nanoseconds. That's caused stress. That level of stress is escalating, and more and more and more. And we're like salmon in a river where we just don't even realize how caught up in this river we are. And for years, I've just been saying, like, people are starting to die of these stress-related diseases. My buddy who lives next door, a very dear friend of mine, just had a massive heart attack. He's my age. He just had a triple bypass surgery, and the cause is stress. That's the number one cause of the reason he just had a heart attack at an age where you shouldn't be having heart attacks. We're living in a crazy world. We are not designed to go this fast. So when I'm starting to hear more and more and more stories about people who have actually embraced the perspective that COVID has given, where I'm saying we have to slow down. Before COVID, we have to stop. We're like a minivan not designed to drive on the Autobahn. The doors are flying off because we're maxing this out. The engines, the RPMs are maxed to the gills, and there's no exit. You're on this until you're dead. There is a need to stop and get perspective. And then all of a sudden, the world locks up all four tires. And I'm looking around going like, well, I didn't see it happening like this. And yeah, there's some not so good things going on, like people getting sick and people dying. And I'm not talking about that. But I am looking at it and going, for the vast majority of us where our lives have been thrown into this upheaval, I am challenging you as a potential crazy person that maybe this is that time of life where maybe when most people I talk to are like, I hate my job. I hate what I do. I'm not happy. And I can't stop now because I've already invested too much time in the job that I have. And so, when I have a house and a mortgage and a backyard full of llamas, and I can't just quit and start over, that's ridiculous. And I'm like, well, really? Because your kids are looking at you and going, this is the world you want me to join? Which is a video coming up on this topic. You're miserable. And maybe this perspective, this time right now, where so many of us have, some people are still in complete lockdown, some people are in mid lockdown, some people are post lockdown. Like, I don't know where you are, but everyone's had the opportunity to sit back and embrace the perspective. And my challenge to you is, when that moment to stop and look at your life comes, you need to ask yourself some questions. Don't hide away from it, because these are rare, rare moments. This is the great silver lining in a time that contains a lot of negativity. Don't let perspective pass you by, because it may never come again in your lifetime. Good. That was dramatic. I like it. Okay. And moving on to our next video. Oh, very, very good. I like the way this ties in. This ties in very well. Living in pain of past and fear of future, coming up in our next video. I hope you stick with me.